Welcome back. And first and foremost, I'm tired. And I say that a lot, but my recording times are all over the place. Um, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. No. Do I have a. You heard the cat. He's up, guys. What time is it? It's 3:32 a.m. I am 46 years old. What am I doing up? Let's start over. First and foremost, listen to last week's episode before you listen to this episode. You really should be listening to all the previous episodes regardless. But this in particular is a part two of last week. I didn't know if it was going to happen, but I felt like last week's episode was so freaking important and good. And I got a ton of feedback on it that I had to do a part two. So I'm doing a part two, okay? That being said, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to try not to go off on these little snake roads and these little trails of thought because I'm exhausted. I am tired. It has been an exhausting day. First and foremost, tomorrow's Easter. Now, by the time you listen to this, Easter's over. But tomorrow's Easter. So, I've had a busy week at work. We're closed tomorrow, thank God. Today was stupid. When I left work after a busy day, I had 25,000 steps in. By the time that I sat down to do this episode, I am at 47,000 steps. Bro. Tomorrow I have Easter with my son, and I'm excited. We're going to have a long day. But he's going to be really excited to play and do Easter stuff and all that, so I'm there for it. But I just got back on my date. Now, recap. For those of you that don't remember last week's episode, and for those of you that didn't listen, you suck. I got hooked up on the date, and this is the third date. This is not a blind date. It's not a blind date anymore, but these 3 dates have spawned from said blind date, okay? They've spawned from that date. God, my headphones. I need more snare in my headphones. And I thought that last week, or the last date that we went on when I talked about it, I thought there was a little weirdness. There we go. I thought there was I might have misread some signals and self-sabotage, or, maybe I was overthinking, all the above. Turns out it was really nothing, and we went on another date. Now, I didn't plan on going on a date on Easter Sunday or Easter weekend, honestly, but I also was like, I didn't want to wait too long, but I didn't want to do it too fast. There's all these parameters. So when I called her or I texted her, and by the way, we do talk on the phone. That's not just a 46-year-old thing. This 26-year-old girl should be 27 soon, I think. We talk on the phone. We don't just talk, but I text most of it, and then sometimes she's like, bam, I'm just going to call. That's kind of unheard of for a lot of people these days. But we were texting, and I was like, hey, when you're free, she's like, you know what, I'm free Saturday. I was like, cool, let's go. I might not have thought that it was Easter weekend, but either way. Now, it was supposed to be, I thought maybe we'd do something outside. We'd go, downtown, to one of the towns around here, like McKinney or Plano, and just kind of bounce. Let's check out some stuff because there's a lot to do. Some cool antique stores downtown McKinney, was where I live. There's some really cool thrift stores. There's some cool bars, cool places to eat. There's some live music venues. There's some activity. Like there's things to do where you can just, and we could be outside because we could be walking, park and walk, or go sit in the little, quad and hang out, whatever. Not really have a destination, but make that our destination. Downtown Plano is a little bit further, but it's dope. That's where Luke and I went. We've gone to some hip hop contests. We've got some beat contests. We've done some things down there. It's a very cool vibe. Um, but the weather was supposed to be raining. We actually had a lot of tornadoes in Texas on Saturday, none by me, and really the storms weren't nearly as bad. But it was kind of that questionable in the air of what's going to happen. So I was like, all right, well, let's go somewhere. So we ended up, how we came up with this, I don't know. She was down for whatever. I was like, let's just go to Dallas. So we met at the halfway point, kind of, because I didn't want to be like, I'll pick you up at your house, or she was kind of leaning towards that. She wanted to drive there, but I didn't want her to drive to Dallas by herself. Not that it's far, but so we met, and then we took the DART. No, I lied. We met, and we're going to take the DART, but we weren't sure. The DART is the public rail system. Wasn't sure how long, the DART runs, because it's confusing. And the last thing I wanted to do was get stuck down there on Easter Saturday and then have to figure out how to get back home. So we just ended up taking an Uber from this central location. And I was like, and it was late because what I decided was, let's go to this speakeasy. Now, I think speakeasies are cool, and they're popping up. There's a lot of them. They're popping up. They're trendy, right? They're retro, they're trendy. But I also think there's a lot of speakeasies that are nothing but gimmicks. Like this, and I know what you're saying, Brandon, it's a speakeasy. Of course it's a gimmick. But I'm saying, there's a lot of them that don't really try to feel authentic, or try to feel like they're giving much of an effort. They sit there and they're like, well, go to this door and then really go to the door behind it, and it's just a bar. But there's this one I read about, and I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to give them free promo. For those that want to know, you can text me. It's down in Dallas, and I heard about it, and it sounded dope. Now, it's cool because it's literally kind of by a bunch of bars, and there's this dope, it's an art gallery, but they do live music there, and then they'll have you can rent it out, but then you go around behind it, and it literally looks like you're in a place you shouldn't be. There is a door, and there's a guy at the door, and you have to know what the word is for that night. They change it every night to get in. Well, one of my buddies that works in the industry told me what it was. So I went down there and I was telling her about it. She's like, dude, I'm in. I'm okay. I have never gone to one of these before. So I'm really curious. And she was really there's that bit of excitement because you're not just going to a bar. You're not just going to a restaurant. You're going to a speakeasy that feels back in the day, we got to hide because, prohibition, or you're going to a rave. There's a bit of excitement. And there's also a bit of excitement for me because I've never been here. I've never been to this particular one. I don't know much about it other than everybody told me to go there. So we get in and you walk down this corridor. You open this door and it's a generic door. It looks like it could be the back of any business. And you get in and it's not dark, but it's not exactly well lit. And you just walk. You feel like you are in the back. If I was to have a barber shop, no, that's a bad example. A hardware store. This is my back where I go take the trash out. And then you're going to get to where I keep all the back stock. That's what it feels like. And as you walk into where the back stock is, there's boxes everywhere. And there's a mannequin on the floor. It feels very dirty. You find another door. You tell this person the same password. and they open up, and you go down a corridor, you turn left, and you can see the music, or you can hear the music, and you can start to see the lights, and it's not a rave. It's very chill. It's got this weird, like, I don't want to say like swingers like music, like, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and I don't want to say like Frank Sinatra, but it's very much like moderny jazz, like mellow. Like it's loud enough to where you can vibe to it and you can like listen to it and you can maybe go dance a little, but it's also chill enough and low enough to where you can have a conversation. And dude, there's like, I don't know, I counted like 30 people just kind of scattered. And there's little rooms and whatever, and a full bar. And so I was like, well, we're going to get a drink. Like, now remember, we're in Dallas. So we Ubered. We do have to drive back. We have to Uber to the car and drive back. So I'm not trying to get her wasted. And I'm not trying to drink because I'm really not drinking that much right now. I'm really not. I say that after, just I got a wine dinner coming up. Of course, by the time you guys see this, I'll have already gone to a wine dinner. But um, I'm just not. I'm trying to lose a lot more weight, trying to, get some things under control. And it's important to me. So, and I struggle with this, like getting up in the morning to go work out because I'm exhausted. So it at least got to be able to get my workout in. But if not, I at least got to make sure I ate pretty good that day and was healthy and not putting crap in my body. So I ask her what she wants to drink. Now, normally I would just order her a drink. Just order whatever girl I'm with. Like, yes, that's not a rude thing to do. It's just, I usually know what they want. I mean, I was a bartender for years. I worked in the game. I worked in the industry. I've been there, done that. Managed nightclubs, managed bars. Like, I get it. I'm in sales. I understand that. So, and then usually I would have been with this person, so I know what they want. But I wasn't really sure because, all we had before was some sake. So I was like, what do you want to drink? She's like, just get me what you're drinking. I'm like, I'm getting an old fashioned, hands down. Like that's how I'm going to judge a place. Like if you can make a bomb old fashioned, I got faith in you. If you give me some crap, I don't have faith. It's like if I go to a new coffee shop and I get a cappuccino. If I get a cappuccino and it's heavy and it just feels like there's a lot of milk in there, nah, you're crap. You don't know what you're doing. Now, if I get a cappuccino and I can pick it up super light and the foam, okay, we're good. So I judge a place based off their, old fashioned. So I got 2 old fashions. I didn't tell them what bourbon to put in. I didn't tell them, just give me 2 old fashions. If that's a $30 drink a piece, it's a $30 drink a piece. If it's a $10 drink, it's $10. If it's $9, if you put well whiskey in there, then I'll decide. I just want to know what type of whiskey or bourbon like bourbon in there, and I'll taste it. If you make it good, I'm gonna order the same thing. If you make it bad, I'm not gonna upgrade to a better whiskey or bourbon just so you can screw it up. So I got it, and it looked great. It's got the ice ball in there. It's got the nice little curl of the orange. I can smell the bitters, and it's muddled, and I'm like, oh. So I get, we walk over, and she looks, let me rewind. She looks really pretty. Like, she looks pretty. Like, she is pretty, but she had this little, like, I don't want to say sundress, but like, spaghetti strap, like black, kind of blackish. It was black, but it had like this design on it that was hard to see. I don't know, man. She looked good. And I cleaned up. Not nearly as bad as I look now, gentlemen and women, but I had some nice pants on, unbuttoned shirt. Yeah, I just got my chest hair out like Don Johnson, Miami Vice, 1985. No, and I got my shirt. It's like kind of like a slimmer shirt, not too slim because I'm not that slim right now, but it's like kind of long sleeves, but like loose enough and not hot. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll post a picture, but I felt like I looked pretty good. And so I'm looking around, we're talking, we're kind of posted up, kind of leaned up in this one little corner talking, and I'm like, nah, I gotta get her a seat, man. And I spot this. You turn left, like you go straight from where we were, kind of posted up against this wall chatting. And I see this open area. And I'm like, hey, you want to go over there? Let's see what it is. So as we go, we walk down. There's like little books and everything. We turn left. There's a couple little steps. And then there's like this little table and chairs. So we do it. We sit down. And it's a little further away from where the music was, but we could talk. And it's candle lights. And there's like a couple tables over there. There's a bigger table over there. There's a couple little stools. And there's like 3 or 4 people down there. And we're just chilling. And I'm like, dude, this is dope. She's like, this is so crazy. She, because here we are in this behind all the main bars in Dallas in an alley. Like if there was an exit, I don't know which direction. Like you lose all sense of direction. I don't know where I'm going to end up. So we're hanging out and we're talking, and I don't have a tab. I'm closing out every time. And number one, because I'm monitoring my drinks, but we're sipping on these old fashions. These old fashions were so good. They were so well balanced with the sweetness of the orange peel, and the bitters, and then the cherries they used in there. There's not these maraschino cherries, garbage. The nice, real big old fashioned cherries, those dark, $17 a bottle cherries, like just good old fashioned. And she's like, this is really good. And I've had old fashions before, but this is dangerous. And I'm like, yeah. So we start talking about the place and the music and what her day was at work. And like, again, it is very flow. And the best way to just, that's the word. Everything felt so easy. Like no stress on the conversation, no stress on the conversation, from work to the old fashioned, to music, to she was telling me a story about her friend, to I was talking about the day I had going into back into Easter, and we start talking about that, and then she starts telling me about her parents and some times in China, and like it felt like we were there forever, sipping on that drink in a very good way. Until a girl came up, she's like, can I get you guys something to drink? I was like, yeah, I'll take another old fashioned. So I take another old fashioned, close it out. And the music kind of changes into this like Afro house, kind of hard house, not hard house, but like, acid house, Afro house. It's just really like trance type style. And I'm like, it fits. And they're kind of doing some remixes, and then they're kind of mixing some like R&B. Like whoever was DJing knew what to do, and you could tell that they got the vibe. Because here we are listening to like some trance, and like I'm like, dude, this is dope. We start talking about concerts, and they played Luther Vandross, and I'm like immediately thinking they're going to go into Luther with SZA and Kendrick, and I'm like, but then it's Luther, and I'm like, oh, this is straight up OG Luther, and I'm here for it, And I was telling her about Luther Vandross. She knows who he is, but remember, guys, she's 26, and she knows who he is. She knows his music, but not like I do. So I start talking about the documentary on Max, and she's like, you love music, don't you? I go, oh my god, like I love music, like. Music speaks to me. Like, to me, I'm such a lyric guy. I listen to lyrics, I break down lyrics, I hear lyrics first. It can be the best beat in the world, and I know it's there, and I acknowledge it, but it's the lyrics that I'm like, oh, she already said, rewind it. Listen to the way that, and we start talking about that, and she's like, yeah, I do that with a lot of songs, but I love dancing. I'm like, me too. And she's like, I used to kind of be a dancer, but not as much, and I'm like, oh, of course you are. Of course you were. Because I'm attracted. That's my jam, like dated a dancer forever, And so I'm like, okay, yeah. And she starts talking to me about a little bit about ballet and, she's like, God, it jacked up my feet so bad. And then they go right into Luther by Luther and by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And I was like, let's go get another drink. She's like, okay. And she's like, we'll lose our spot. I'm like, who cares? But we beelined it. Like we went to the bar and then beelined it to the dance floor. Dude, I didn't know that I'd be able to. I thought I was just dancing by myself with Luther and SZA, or me and Luke are going to do that at the concert. I got to like watch it's been so long since I've been part of that vibe of dancing, and people were dancing next to me. She's dancing next to me. And we're having fun, and like these two dudes, like I'm assuming they were together, were dancing, and they were like smiling. Like one guy like gave me like a half a hug for no reason, and I'm like, the song, and he's like, it's so beautiful, and I'm like, I know, and like she was like getting a kick out of it, and then we got our old fashioned, and we found another seat, and man, we had it. I really had like a really cool night, you know. And I was like, dang it, like this girl, I dig her, man. Like I dig her, and it sucks because I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, I love you. I don't. Let's just be real, okay? But I don't want to be that guy who's like, I can't wait till we go out again, because that can get a little intimidating, and you never know what somebody's jive is, right? So anyway, but she's cool. She's young, but she's cool. And so we like hung out, and then I went to the bathroom and I came back, and there's another old fashioned, and I'm like, bro. And she's like, I bought this one. I got it. She's like, our last one, right? And I go, yeah, it's our last one. And we nursed it. And then I was like, all right. So then we kind of get out of the club, or we get out of the speakeasy, which was not as easy as you think to get out of. They take you out a different way, and you are on the opposite side. So, and I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with being in a city, obviously, and I'm comfortable with Dallas as far as knowing where I'm going, but I don't know where I am. So I'm like, let's go this way. So we went to this place, and it's literally like a couple blocks away. This is down like a Oak Lawn, for those of you that are familiar. And there's this little white, like it almost looks like when you go into a parking lot and you park your car, like you go to an event and you got to park your car, and they have those booths there, and that you pay them, the obscene amount of money to park your car. It looks like that. It's a taco stand, bro. So I walk in there and I'm seeing like every walk of life there. A homeless guy who just found like $9 goes there. Crackhead goes there. Gang members there. People dressed in suits. I'm like, this place is it. Like, we're gonna get some tacos, and we got some street tacos. I got some like barbacoa. Oh my freaking god! Stop it. And she's like, I have never had a barbacoa taco, and I'm like, who are you? You're Chinese. Like, you eat all kinds of crap. She's like, I don't know. I just never had it. I don't know. Let's go. And so she did, and she like fell in love, and like um it was really cool because I'm gonna get all rom-com, because as she was eating it, she had like the awesome sauce like dripping down her mouth, and I'm like, yeah. And she goes, bro, she looked at me, she goes, I'm just gonna be a mess because I don't care, this is so good. And I'm like, you know what, yeah, I ain't even mad. I get it. You can use your shirt as a plate if you want. It's a shirt plate. Luke and I do it all the time. We put chips on our shirt, and it's a shirt plate. Now, I don't suggest you do that because there's a little, but and anyway, so we got that, and then we kind of like walked around a little bit. We found this. It's not a park, but there's like this little corner down there with all these little like art sculptures and stuff. And there's like a dude like like a strumming a guitar, and because he was at the bar behind him, and he must have just got done, and he's just playing there, chilling. And there's like 7 people chilling there, so we were just chilling, talking, and I'm like, hey, let's get an Uber back. So we caught an Uber back. We get back to the car, and I was like, man, like, awesome. I was like, are you good? Like, are you okay to drive? Because I can get you an Uber home, and I'll come pick you up, or I'll get you an Uber back to your car. Like, I'll take care of it. She's like, no, I'm good. And I was too. Like, we had drank several old fashions, but between the hangout, the pacing, the dancing, the food walking, like There was no buzz, just like a nice even keel, just good quality stuff. And she's like, too bad there's not a coffee shop open right now. And I was like, oh my God, am I supposed to marry this girl right now? And kidding, jokes, guys, don't. You know who you are out there. Don't be sending this to her. And I don't even know if she knows I have a podcast yet. I haven't said it. It's not like I show up and I'm like, hi guys, I have a podcast. But I have a feeling she knows based off the people that hooked me up with her, or connected me with her. Anyway, she should start listening now so I can make some money. But I mean, stop being selfish. Jeez, here's what I'm talking about you. So I go, yeah. I go, there isn't, unless it's like back in the day, we went to Denny's and Denny's is dead. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Whip out the phone. And there's this diner, okay, that I went to a long time ago. And it's open 24 hours. And it reminds me, like, for those of you, my chair is squeaking, guys. I'm sorry. But it reminds me a little bit of like the Coney Islands back home in Michigan, but it's not. But it's like an old school diner that's open late. And we went. We didn't eat. We just got coffee. And it's always amazing to me that the diner coffee always tastes good. It's not like gas station coffee. It's not like 7-Eleven coffee. It's not like hotel coffee, crappy hotel coffee. The diner, something about the diner coffee. It can be the most generic blend in the world. But you're drinking a pot and you're hanging out and talking. And that's what we were. And I was like, it's late. I get back to her, walk her to her car. And we're at that moment, And she's like, I had a really good time. She's like, I'm just exhausted. And you can see it in her face. And I'm exhausted. It's like her face went tired right away. And I give her a hug. And I'm like, do I lean, And I'm like, you're going to be good to get home. Like, not that you're drunk. I know you just had coffee, but you could be tired. She's like, no, I'm fine. I was like, text me when you get home. And she's like, I will. I got you. And she like kind of reached out and grabbed my hand real quick. I was like, I had so much fun. Thank you. I was like, absolutely. She's like, I'm going to pick the next time. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing it next time. And then she gave me like the littlest kiss, like right on the side of the mouth. I don't know what the spitting sound was. Side of the mouth, side of the cheek. Guys, I'm freaking tired. Roscoe, get out of here. Hold on, I gotta hit my cat. I didn't really hit him, but I'm trying to shoo him away. He's trying to eat this. Idiot. He's just probably excited that I'm home. I haven't been here. Go lay down, buddy. We're about to go to bed, that's for sure. And I'm gonna spray some water on him or something. He's chewing like everything right now. He just wants for attention. I can't talk. I'm tired, guys. And so she gave me a kiss. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. And then I was like, do I dive in for another one? I'm like, no, respect. And so like I kind of gave her a hug. I'm not gonna get all emotional and get like my hand was here and right here and there. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I had a good time, And hit me up, like text me. So I get home. Here I am. She texted me before I got home because apparently she got home faster than I did. And she texted me goodnight. She texted me like right before I started recording. And she's like, I am super excited to go to bed. And I was like, same. So yeah, what's next, right? What's next in this situation? You don't rush it. You just roll with it. But I feel so out of my element right now. Not because I'm dumb and like I like to make fun of my whole dating life since the marriage, but it hasn't been great. And there's been like one in particular that was really a good time, and then I screwed that up, I think. And then there was another one that I thought was just kind of fun, but she was kind of cool, but she was kind of fun. And then pretty sure she stole my beard trimmer, so there's that. And then this one, they're all in their 20s, so that's a thing. And it's like, I'm not going to get hung up on that, but it does make me think, like, why? Is it because I'm so immature and I act like a 46-year-old, 26-year-old? Or is it because, like, maybe they're bored with, like, the 26-year-old guys? Maybe they just feel like I'm not going to be a creep because I have a kid. But then, like, why would a single 26-year-old, almost 27-year-old girl want to be with a single dad? Like, unless she doesn't care about the kid thing and she's just looking out for a fun time. But I'm not the guy who gives off that vibe. Like, I'm the guy who's like, my kid comes first. If you make plans with me and and I have something with my kid, I'm not moving that around. Like, if there's a special thing that Luke wants to do, or we're going to a movie, or hey, my kid's supposed to hang out with me that day. Yeah, he's not spending the night, but he's hanging out with me that day. Still, like, okay, if you want me to call you around 8, 9, I'm not moving plans. I don't do that. I won't do that. That's the way it is. So someone would have to be okay with that, or like, there's a lot of questions, and I don't know if it's worth bringing up because then it just self sabotages it. But then I'm also like, well, maybe they just, I'm not going to say this. This isn't fair, but you know, I have to think about the future. Okay, if I'm single and they're in an alternate universe, there's no children involved, then I don't have to think about what this is. I can just roll with the punches and not care. If we get serious, great, we get serious. If we get serious and she comes over and I come over and we're hanging out and then she dumps me or I dump her, there's nobody hurting except for us. Like, with a kid, it's a different element. And I am not sitting here looking at every girl I'm with to be like the future, stepmama. Um, but I am thinking, like, if we are going to get serious at some point, and I'm not talking about her, I'm just saying if whoever this imaginary person is gets serious, at some point, I'm going to have to introduce you on my terms to Luke, because you are serious enough in my life that you have met that level. And I've said this about my friends too. Yeah, there's some of my friends that we run into each other and they meet Luke. But if you're going to be in my son's life, then I'm going to make sure that you're a part of his life. Like, he's familiar with your name and what I do and how we hang out. And I'm talking friends even. Because I'm not going to get my son being like, man, I love it when so-and-so comes over. And then all of a sudden you dip because you're a DB. You're some douche. No, and he gets his feelings hurt. I mean, no. If he's older, different story. Now, no. And even then, but I have to think about that stuff. Somebody who's 26 doesn't have to. And if she's not thinking about it, then why am I here? I'm not saying like, oh, she needs to think about being serious. I'm just saying if she's not thinking about like, hey, well, he's probably gonna, put his kid first. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna have to accept that at some point. He's not gonna be able to just spur the moment on things. But she also seems very much like a type of planner with her job. Her job keeps her very busy. So, and she likes her time. But then you got to think about it too. Most women, their biological clock starts to tick. Whether you want kids or not, there's this point in your life with almost 95% of the women that I've talked to where they have like, yeah, I've thought about kids. Okay, well, that's it. I'm not thinking about the kids anymore. I'm not ready for my swimmers to find a new home. Okay. As much as I love kids, and if I was younger, yeah, man, it'd be great. But I am blessed with who I have. And that's all she wrote, I've been there, done that. And now I'm still doing it. So with Luke, and that's important. You know what I mean? But if she thinks that way, am I going to put myself in a situation where I'm going to have to tell her, dude, I'm out? Or am I going to get like, someone's going to get hurt? And I'm not here to hurt anybody. And I'm not here to get hurt, to be honest. So either she doesn't want to have kids, she can't have kids, she hasn't thought about it yet, or I'm back to a SoCal situation. For those of you that don't know who SoCal is, go ahead and listen to my other podcast. And we're back to that situation where, okay, I'm not saying I want to have kids, but I think we should try it. And then I'm over here going, no, we can't. And I've just, pissed away more time. So those are thoughts. And some of you are like, dude, you are really reaching and thinking too deep about it. But I think that some people don't think enough about it. And which is probably why we have all the divorces in the world and why there's so many kids that have met so many girlfriends and boyfriends and they don't have that stability. I'm not about that life. I think this girl's really cool and I respect her enough to be like, if you want kids, I'm out. Like, I'm not the guy for you. Like, if you want a family, I'm not the guy for you. Like, if that's in your head, you don't have to talk to me about it. You don't have to, like, we don't have to date five, start talking about kids. But if that's something that's in your head and you're like, yeah, it is something I wanted, but this guy's really cool, I'm out. Let's just end it now. And you're going to make somebody amazing, somebody super happy because you're an awesome chick. But I'm not going to be that guy to get hurt or to hurt you, if it's a situation where you're like, dude, I can't have kids. Well, maybe you want to adopt one day, like or maybe you don't want kids and that thought's never crossed your mind. Well, then I got to wonder too, what am I doing? What about it's complicated, man. And nobody gets it. Everybody just tells me you're overthinking it and just have fun and don't worry about it. Cross that bridge when you get there. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. No. So, but in the meantime, I think she's awesome. And I hope that whatever happens is positive and good. And yeah, I'm all about having fun. And someone's like, dude, you guys just hanging out. You can hook up and that's going to be fun. And I'm like, if I wanted to just hook up, get in, there's plenty of other people out there. I don't think that she's that girl. And somebody I talked to was like, oh, yeah, you guys are going to have adult time for sure. And I want to tell that person that you're wrong. We didn't. And whether she wanted to or not, I'm telling you, this girl's got those conservative reservations. She's reserved a little and respects herself enough, at least from what I can tell, and how she speaks, to hold off on that for a minute. I'm telling you, I'm not saying she's some like Virgin Mary. I'm just saying it's different. It's different. And I'm not saying that, next time I hang out, maybe she's, I'm in love with a stripper, and maybe that's what it turns into. Okay. But she's going to do it on her terms. I'm not going to be able to dictate this. It's all on her terms, which is pretty much the way it should be anyway, guys. So calm down. I'm not, she's going to let me know 100 when she's ready to roll. If that happens. And if we make it that long. And if we make it till next date. But we are going to hang out again. I think we are, I know my buddy and his girlfriend want to get together. So I think we're all going to do something. But then I'm like, oh no, then it's like official, Anyway, I just had to give you guys an update, guys. I am exhausted. I can feel it. I'm tired. I got to get a nap in. So I'm going to get a nap in. Please drop your comments. Hit me up at thelifeofanaveragejoepodcast.com. You can text me. Social media. You can email me at thelifeofanaveragejoepodcast@gmail.com. Next week, no date talk. I got a lot to talk about next week, though. And I am falling asleep. So awesome date. Leave me. Drake. Okay. I had to find out if she was a Drake fan or not. It's very important. Can't trust somebody who is. She's like, I'm sure I have a Drake song on my playlist at somewhere, but I know for a fact that I listen to Kendrick more. She's like, I might not be like you are, but I know for a fact that there's way more Kendrick songs on my playlist and has been for the last several years. And Drake is probably on there. She's like, but I couldn't tell you the last time that I've sought out finding Drake, where there's been specific songs like Luther and Squabble Up and Not Like Us and Euphoria and All Right that I've wanted to just specifically be in the mood for, that I put on my gym list and that. So I'm like, okay. So we dodged the bullet on that one. She probably knows Drake. it's just the pedo he is, and she didn't want anything to do with it. So, weird Canadian freak. What'd she say he looked like? She said he looked like a Bratz doll. Like if a guy was dressed up like a Bratz doll. That's what Drake looks like. He's weird. It's weird that his alter ego is like a little girl. Like everything about it is weird. It's fair. Creepy, man. Anyway, I'm going to bed. Night, everybody. See ya. Life of Average Joe podcast next week.